Every single time I walk into this garage, I question my judgment big time. We have the crashed Ferrari 812 Superfast that we're doing the rebuild on. We're waiting for my bin pack 2-post lift. It's gonna arrive this week. We're gonna get that installed, and then we can really regroup on this car. I got parts, I got tools starting to arrive, so slowly but surely we're getting there. But today, we have a special surprise. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to the vlog. Well, we have a lot of updates in today's video. We finally have an update on my Lamborghini Gallardo, which is still broken, but we have a plan in place to get that car fixed ASAP. We're also picking up a new car today that's gonna be very, very cool that I think you guys are gonna quite like. We gotta head off to the bank, we gotta send a wire transfer, and assuming the money clears, the car should be here today, hopefully today. I realize you guys haven't been in my garage in quite a while. That Murcielago LP640, not my car, I'm just storing for a buddy. Absolutely beautiful. I don't know how they did it, but they did it again. Introducing the brand new Insta360 X4, the most dynamic, versatile 360 camera in the world. And yes, of course, sure, today's video has been sponsored by Insta360, but you guys all know I love Insta360. I use their cameras in almost every single one of my videos, and the brand new X4 elevates the game to a whole different ballgame. You guys are gonna love this thing. We're gonna put it on a bunch of my cars today, and I'm gonna tell you guys all about the brand new X4. Now, a couple months back, I told you guys this interior was going full pink, and it is. We ordered a custom pink leather hide. It has finally arrived to E3 Customs in Florida, so sometime in the month of June, I'm gonna ship this car to Florida, and this entire interior is going bright pink except the dash. I learned my lesson on the white car, on the white interior, on the pink car. The white dash was an absolute disaster. I can't see out of that car, so we're sticking with the black dash, but everything else is pink. Now, my channel is definitely not a blossom vlog, but goodness, them cherry blossoms be blossoming. We're gonna make this happen fast. Welcome here to JP Morgan Chase. Obviously, I can't bring you guys in with me, so we're gonna send this wire transfer, and then hopefully the car, well, hopefully it makes it today. I really hope it does, otherwise the video's kind of ruined. And we're off to the races. Thank you, Chase. Now, the team at Insta360 challenged me, film the coolest car content I can with their brand new X4. And guys, this camera is revolutionary. It'll shoot 360-degree cinematic video at 8K 30 frames per second. Maybe like slow-mo? Yeah, it's got 4K 100 frames per second. The battery life is 67% longer. It has a removable lens cap to protect the lens. It's waterproof up to 10 meters. And I think the only appropriate thing to do right now to showcase the X4 is launch control in a straight piped Aventador. And setting up the X4 to film launch control could not be any easier. We're gonna set the suction cup down here on the wing. I'm doing this with one hand just to show you guys how simple it is. We're gonna extend the pole outward. This, of course, is the famous Insta360 video game shot. The camera's actually gonna mirror out the stick, so it appears to be invisible, as if it's just floating in space. Now, the Aventador has one of the most violent launch controls in the world, but the X4 has flow state stabilization. The footage is still gonna be buttery smooth, so this is launch control in an Aventador. To initiate launch control, we're gonna pop it here into Corsa mode. Traction control off, no ESC. We gotta pop it into gear, thrust mode possible. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Mash the brake, mash the throttle, and go. Oh my gosh. And I love that you can connect the Insta360 X4 to your phone via Bluetooth. You can change settings, you can hit record, you can hit stop record on the fly in the moment. Absolute game changer. And editing this footage is so easy. Insta360's powerful AI editing suite makes the whole process seamless. I love the deep track feature to track a car's movement. The AI will actually go frame by frame, so you don't have to do it manually. There's just nothing better than the springtime here in Utah. The landscaping is coming together. I definitely gotta buy a lawnmower though, ASAP. Well, we just got some good news. I got the email notification from Chase. The wire's been sent. I reached out to the owner of the car that we're buying today. He's received the money, so the new car should be here in about 45 minutes. Now, before the new car gets here, we gotta open up this garage door. We gotta have a conversation about the Gallardo, because if we don't, it won't make sense when the new car gets here. Trust me, it won't make any sense. And yes, if you're wondering, the Gallardo's still dead. She's still broken. I got you guys. Whoa. Now, most of you guys know this is my 2006 Lamborghini Gallardo. Bought it in 2015, financed it through the roof. I was making like 50 grand a year, $110,000 Lamborghini. I had no business owning a car like this. And everybody in my life That's what they told me. They told me I was making the biggest financial mistake of my life and that I would regret it forever. But I trusted myself, I trusted my intuition, and I knew that I could make it work. And this car, in a lot of ways, it defines that mentality. And I really want to return this car back to its former glory. Now, back in 2019, I sent my Gallardo to Chicago to be twin turboed, and for lack of a better term, in 2023, the car came back ineffective. And I'm not saying that for any legal reason. I just don't want to get into the nonsense of it all. If you've not seen this video where I discuss the entire dumpster fire of this car, go check it out. But effectively, the car does not operate. It's got no oil pressure, leaking oil everywhere. A bunch of other things internally are broken, and I want to fix the car. And for the last year that the car has been back in my possession, I've been mulling over all these different scenarios, trying to figure out how do we get it done. Now, what I'm about to say, I'm going to be very conscientious of how I say it, and I want to say it very succinctly. I love Boost. You love Boost. Everybody loves Boost. But this Boost, I don't want this Boost. The twin turbo kit on this car, I don't want it on my car. And so we're going to take it off the car and we're gonna get rid of it. Before anybody tells me to take it to this shop or that shop you saw on YouTube, this car is not going to any shop, and there's a good reason for that. I have talked to nearly every single twin turbo shop out there. If you know them, I've talked to them, and they've all been so generous to discuss this project for me. The problem is, this car, it's a can of worms that nobody truly wants to touch. If you're a twin turbo shop and you specialize in adding boost to some of the most expensive cars in the world, you want to be very, very, very certain that your kit is going to operate as designed and the car is not going to blow up. So there's no shop that actually wants to take on the responsibility of this car. There's a lot of shops that would take the car, remove the entire system, put their own system on the car, and then charge me another $50,000 to $60,000 to $70,000, and rightfully so. That makes complete sense. There's no shop out there that wants to take this car, take this kit, try to fix it, and then bear the responsibility of what happens in the future. And for that reason, I hate to say, the dreams of my Gallardo being twin turboed are dead. I am gonna convert this car back to stock. I have officially decided that is the plan. The twin turbo kit is coming off the car. It's just not worth the time, energy, and stress. I just want my baby back, honestly. And a stock 5-liter Gallardo is a ton of fun. It's one of the best sounding cars in the world. And the idea of spending another year, another 2 years, dropping another $50,000 to $80,000 to try to twin turbo this car, it's just not worth it. Now that, of course, poses the big time question. How do I convert this car back to stock? Now, unfortunately, I really don't know everything that was done to this car. It supposedly has a built motor, built to withstand approximately 1,300 wheel horsepower, that was also built for boost. I need a new engine. A new engine on eBay Motors on a 5-liter Gallardo is approximately $35,000. Now, my Gallardo has a ton of issues, but not every single issue I'm about to mention happened when the car was in Chicago. For example, these wheels right here, you can see they're pretty chewed up. The paint is starting to peel. These Callisto wheels are very, very expensive. A set of 4 brand new ones is around $6,000 to $7,000. The driver door handle is broken. That was my fault. The e-brake is broken. The center console is cut up. The rear deck lid is broken. The engine is blown. I mean, the issues just go on and on and on and on. Suffice to say, this car is not concourse quality. Of course, when you add a twin turbo to a car, it's not just a couple turbos. You got a built motor, you got a redesigned fuel system, redesigned intake system, redesigned exhaust system. Well, all that stuff, the old stuff, I don't really know what happened to it, so I'm gonna have to purchase all of that stuff plus a new motor, and all this stuff gets very, very, very expensive because an older Gallardo like this, if you were to part one out, you would actually make more money than selling a complete car. I think that made sense. A parted out car, the sum of its parts, is worth more than the car put together. It's crazy, but it's true. Now, to the best of my ability, I have gone through this car and I've tried to figure out every single part I would possibly need to fix it. Some parts were new, some were used, some were refurbished, and I came up with an estimate, a grand total, a budget of sorts. It is gonna be somewhere in the neighborhood of $50,000 to $70,000 to fix a car that is approximately worth 60 grand as is, maybe. If it was clean, it'd be 100 grand. I know it sounds crazy, and it is crazy, but she's the OG. She's the original gangster. It's the sentimental value, it's all the memories. I can't just toss her to the wayside. We gotta fix her. Now, I've come up with a plan that I think if it works out as designed, it should be a lot cheaper than $50,000 to $70,000 to fix this car. It involves a little bit of manipulation and a little bit of magic. Basically, you paint the car yellow and you cut off the roof. I know that doesn't make any sense, but trust the process. Welcome to the channel, my newest car, the 2008 Lamborghini Gallardo Spider, finished in Giallo Midas. In other words, I bought a parts car. Now I realize it sounds crazy to buy a perfectly good car to use as a parts car for another car, but I crunched the numbers and it adds up. The math is mathing. During my decision-making process, I was mulling over a lot of different options. Do I buy a refurbished motor on eBay for $35,000, a motor that I have no idea what the condition is, or do I buy a clean car that I can actually just turn on and I can listen to the V10? It makes sense. When you buy something on eBay, you have no idea what you're gonna get, whereas this got 15,000 miles on it. We're good to go, baby. Driving a Gallardo Spider is a certain kind of vibe. In a V10 with the yellow interior that is actually sick. I've never seen a Gallardo Spider with full yellow seats. Now the real question is, what do we do with this car after I pull the motor and the trans? We're gonna have the body of a Gallardo Spider, but I'm sure somehow we'll figure out what to do. The possibilities are endless. Unfortunately, this Gallardo does have a stock exhaust. It would have been insane to get like some free titanium setup, but we can still fix that at a later date. The engines that were on eBay for $35,000, not only were they refurbished, but they definitely 100% do not do this. That's 8,000. Let's go, baby. Ah, she sings. It's definitely not my style to destroy a perfectly good car, but considering what else has happened on the internet, this is definitely not the worst offense. Now, this car is effectively giving a heart transplant to the other car, but there's a plan in place for the shell of this car that is going to memorialize it in a very, very cool way. I know I've lost my mind, but she's the original gangster. Now, seeing these two cars together takes me back to high school when the Gallardo was one of the coolest cars in the world, and now we have a coupe and a Spider. Now, the condition on this Gallardo Spider is actually phenomenal, other than the driver's seat. You can see the side bolster right there is a little bit worse for the wear, and then this black piece back here is also a little bit worn, but this interior has almost every single carbon fiber option. That car doesn't have any carbon fiber. So we can take this carbon, insert it into that car, and the wheels are basically brand new. We also have carbon ceramics. I just did the quickest research on eBay, and one carbon ceramic rotor is $3,000 used. We got all four. It's about $12,000 in value. Now the OG, it has steel brake rotors. We can swap the two, so right off the bat, that is $12,000 in value. That obviously doesn't go toward fixing the car, but it's just another bonus. There's just so many parts on the yellow car that are broken on the orange car, but also carbon fiber steering wheel, carbon fiber surround, that piece is carbon fiber, this is carbon fiber, the e-brake works, the door handles are functional. These ventilation vents on my orange car are broken. On this car, they're good. Other cool details that I really didn't buy this car for, but I may as well. These headlights, you can't tell, but they're very pitted, whereas on the yellow car, they're perfect. I'm just gonna swap the two. Well, I think that's pretty much gonna wrap up today's video. I have bought a Gallardo parts car to fix the OG. I know it sounds crazy. We're gonna convert her back to stock. Massive shout out to Insta360 for sponsoring today's video. Guys, if you're into cinematography, you're an athlete, an adrenaline junkie, you like to drive cars, you like to mountain bike, you like to rock climb, whatever it is you like to do, maybe you like to post on Instagram and TikTok for the fun of it, this piece of camera equipment is the most versatile, dynamic piece of camera equipment I have ever had. It is so cool. You guys are gonna love it. The possibilities are actually unimaginable. Check out the link in the description below to pick up the brand new Insta360 X4. And on that bombshell, today's video is over.